Hi, everyone. So this week we've been talking about our 6 traits of writing. So yesterday we talked about beginnings. Well, today we're going to look at how our stories end. So endings grow from beginnings and reveal themselves through clues within the story, characters, and ideas. So this is telling us that our endings have to connect with our beginnings and our middles. Our endings have to connect so it wraps up our big idea. So there's different types of endings. There's a loop ending. A loop ending is an ending that ends the same way that the writing began. There's a surprise ending, and it's usually a twist that takes the reader by surprise. The summary ending. This repeats the main points of your story and it ties up any loose ends. There's the happy ending. I think we all know in fairy tales, and they all lived happily ever after, would be a happy ending. And then in some stories, there's a sad but true ending. So it's kind of the opposite of the happy ending. It's a true resolution at the end. It's the end of the story, but it's not always happy. So we are going to read a story today, and we're going to decide if it has a good or a bad ending. And then we're going to look and see what type of ending we think it is. So we're going to read A Very Noisy Tractor by Pavone. A very, very noisy tractor. I might have to move myself around so you can see it. Oop. Okay. One day, a lady came chugging down the road on a tractor. She had an enormous beehive hairdo. A pizza delivery boy saw her and yelled, "Ladies with crazy hairdos shouldn't drive tractors." The lady didn't hear anything because, as you know, the sound of a tractor is just like a beehive hairdo. Colossal. The tractor chugged down the road with the lady, who, in addition to her beehive hairdo, was wearing a thick pair of eyeglasses at the wheel. An old woman who was waiting for the bus saw her and yelled, "Ladies with glasses shouldn't drive tractors." The lady didn't hear anything because, as you know, the sound of a tractor is just like objects on the other side of thick glasses. Enormous! The tractor chugged down the road with the lady, who, in addition to her beehive hairdo and thick glasses, was wearing a bright blue raincoat at the wheel. The postman saw her and yelled, "Ladies with blue raincoats shouldn't drive tractors." The lady didn't hear anything because, as you know, the sound of a tractor is just like the blue on her raincoat. Loud. The tractor chugged down the road with the lady, who, in addition to her beehive hairdo, thick glasses, and blue raincoat, was wearing a pair of rubber boots at the wheel. A builder saw her and yelled, "Ladies with rubber boots shouldn't drive tractors." The lady didn't hear anything because, well, as you know, the sound of a tractor is just like a pair of boots sloshing through the mud. Noisy. The tractor turned off the road toward a pretty village full of gardens, pine trees, and houses with red tile roofs. By the way, in addition to her beehive hairdo, thick glasses, blue raincoat, and rubber boots, the lady driving the tractor had a bright red purse slung over her shoulder. A little boy saw her and yelled, "Hi there, lady on the tractor." The lady heard him perfectly because, as you know, the sound of a little boy or little girl yelling is just like the red on her purse. Deafening. The tractor came to a halt and the lady turned off the motor. "Hello, young man," she answered. "Is that your tractor?" he asked. "Yes, it is. I use it to plow the fields. When I grow up, I'll have one just like it." "I'm sure you will," the lady laughed. "I've got to go. My husband and my daughter are waiting for me to have dinner." "Does your husband make dinner?" asked the little boy. "You bet," said the lady. "And is he a good cook?" "Out of this world. He's a great cook. You'll have to stop by and see for yourself one day, okay? You bet, said the little boy. The tractor chugged off again with the lady, who, in addition to her huge beehive hairdo, thick glasses, bright blue raincoat, rubber boots, and bright red purse, now wore a huge smile on her face at the wheel. Seeing her coming down the road, a man wearing an apron yelled, "What's that lady with the smile doing on a tractor? She should be on a carriage." The lady didn't hear anything, but she didn't need to because, as everyone knows, you don't need to hear the sounds of love with your ears, but with your heart. In other words, they're like a kiss, breathtaking. That night, just like every other night, the man with the apron and the lady with the tractor sat down to dinner with their beloved daughter. The dinner, as always, was absolutely delicious. Suddenly, the little girl solemnly announced, "When I grow up, I want to have a tractor and be a farmer just like Mom." Her mother gave her a loving smile, but there was something serious in her eyes. Then she answered, "Darling, my work is very hard, but if that's what you want, then go for it. I'll only give you one piece of advice. Make sure that your tractor is very noisy. So noisy that you can't hear the silly things people shout at you." After dinner, like every other evening, the whole family helped tidy up the table. Then Dad washed the plates. Mom rinsed them and put them away, and the little girl washed her hands and brushed her teeth, put on her pajamas, and read her favorite book until she was ready to sleep. The tractor stood silently in the garage. A few hours later, when the rooster crowed, its owner would come back for it. She could be wearing her beehive hairdo or her ponytail, thick glasses or contact lenses, a raincoat or a jacket, rubber boots or sneakers, a purse or a backpack. It really didn't matter. The fact is, no matter what she looked like or what she wore, she was its owner, the lady with the tractor, the only lady farmer in the whole area for the time being. And whoever thought it strange that she drove a tractor had only to ask a little boy or a little girl, because children always see people for who they really are. The end. Well, so I think it had a great ending. I think it ended, let's look at our types of ending. The loop ending, a loop ending ends at the same place it began. Well, it was kind of a loop ending. It ended talking about her tractor, and the story began with her on the tractor. The surprise ending, not much of a surprise ending. Nothing shocking, took us by surprise at the very end. A summary, it repeats the main points of the story or ties up loose ends. Well, the ending did help tie up the loose end, and it talked about the main story. The happy ending, I think it ended very happy. They all lived happily ever after, and she went on her tractor the next day. So I think it was definitely not the sad but true ending. So if I were to pick an ending for our story, I would say it was a summary and a happy ending. So now we're going to look back at our writings that we've done this week and try to make a great ending like we just read in our story. Might have to move me so you can read my writing. Okay. So my writing, I put my new introduction in, and I did an introduction with a question. So I did you know that blue whales are the largest mammals that live in the ocean? So that's my new introduction. So I kept that there. And then the rest of my writing, since blue whales are so large, they need to eat a lot of food. In order for blue whales to find enough food, they need to travel. Blue whales travel from California to the Pacific Northwest in order to find food. Blue whales have to travel for months in order to survive. So today we're going to change our endings to one of our types of endings. So I gave you went the wrong way. I'm going to do a summary ending. So it's going to tie up loose ends and repeat the main points of my story. The main points of my story are that whales are so big that they have to travel for food. So I'm going to change my ending Blue whales have to travel for months in order to survive. And I'm going to make sure that it connects to my main idea that blue whales are the largest animal. They're so big that they have to travel to find food. So, dun dun dun, my new ending. Blue whales are so big that they need to travel in order to eat. This sounds a lot like my previous one. Let's make sure I didn't do the same one. Oh, yep, I changed it. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. So I changed it to blue whales are so big that they need to travel in order to eat enough to survive. I also added to my ending, blue whales have to travel for months in order to survive. So I'm adding more information on why the largest mammals have to travel for food. I'm adding and summarizing that they are so big that they need to travel in order to eat enough to survive. So I've changed my ending to summarize my main idea at the end. So now it's your turn. You're going to use the writing that we've been working on all week, and you can leave your new introduction and your ideas, but we're going to create a new ending. So you will still need 5 complete sentences and a new ending. So you can look at our types of endings and add a new ending to your writing. So if you wrote your introduction about cats, and cats are the best pet that anyone could buy, and you wanted to do a surprise ending, maybe you could surprise us with a fact about cats that we wouldn't know. Or you could use a loop ending, and if you started your writing with cats are the best pet to have, then at the end you can do the loop ending and say, this is why and now I've explained why cats are the best pet to have. Or you can do how I did mine, the summary. So you repeat the main points of your story and you tie up any loose ends. You could also add a fairy tale ending, a happy ending, and the cats all lived happily ever after. Or I know someone's making popcorn. That could be a happy ending. You could say, and it was the best popcorn in all the land, and it would end happy. So you're going to look at all these endings, create your own new ending, add it to your writing that already has your new introduction, and you're going to keep your main ideas, and then you're going to create a new ending and submit it to Google Classroom.